The Festival of British Railway Modelling. It's the first time the show has ever been seen, and it's got big shoes to fill as well. It's in the former time slot of the previous Wally show, which everyone was doom and glooming about, saying Wally has gone, Wally's been defeated, blah blah blah. But Out of the Ashes has risen a truly fantastic little show, and it had a lot to see in there as well. And I've managed to get a few interviews from people, and we've even managed to squash the buzzword of the minute of duplication within the hobby. We've got Rapido and Hornby making the same models, we've got Accurascale making the same models, and I've managed to get some words from the people making the models as well about what they think about the duplication word. So if you fancy finding out what's been said, guys, come with me, let's have a look. Railways is proudly sponsored by SAWYER Models of Lee. There you will find quality used and new rolling stock from all the major gauges, all the way from Z to O gauge. They also carry an extensive selection of scenic items, including the WWS Scenic range, from static grasses all the way to grass tufts and all points in between. Of course, you can expect friendly service when you visit the store, but of course, if that's not your thing or you can't make it to the store, their website carries an extensive range of models and accessories from all the major scales. And thank you once again to SAWYER Models for being our sponsor. So welcome to the video, boys and girls. We're going to kick right off straight into the action with an interview, a quick chat should I say, with John JMC from Ellis Clark Trains, and we're going to find out what he's been up to whilst working there. Right, I've pulled this reprobate, John JMC, who for some reason is now working for Ellis Clark Trains.
Well, that's a good reason for it.
Why is that then? What's the good reason for it? Apart from the wage packet?
No, it's definitely get to put my own stamp on things, get to do my own models, and put my own.
I think that's probably the dream, that isn't it? Being able to design your own locomotives, your own models, and go, I want them this way, and I've got the powerhouse behind me to do it now. So I can put out the models I want, the way I want them. Definitely. A lot of work.
Indeed.
A lot more than people think.
Really keeps me busy.
Yeah.
Really keeps me busy, yeah. So obviously I work remotely, I work from home as well. And there's me thinking, well, you know, maybe I'll get on with a few things, etc. Not a chance.
A lot of sleepless nights then, mate.
A lot of busyness, a lot of early mornings sometimes when we have to communicate elsewhere. You know, in the country, in the world, should I say, even?
Global industry. True.
And definitely keeps me awake at night, pondering over things. And worst part about it is you wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and go, oh, actually, I could do this. Yeah,
just change that capacity.
This would be a really good idea.
So, which is your baby then?
So, well, the latest one is going to be the quad arts.
Let's have a look over here then. So these are your quad arts, aren't they, John?
So quad arts, yeah. So Nikki's done all the design work, Holly's done all the artwork on them, and then I've done this lovely little piece of electronics in the top here.
Let's have a look at that. Just unhook it, can we? Yeah. We'll get a proper one to show you, boys and girls. Look at this one.
Now, the same token, you'll notice staying alive.
See, the stay alive is there for what? It's just anti-flicker, isn't it? Really?
So no, that'll keep it alive for 45 seconds. So a DC modeler will be very happy to be able to park that in a platform and run round, etc. So yeah.
Ah, lovely. So you've still got then. You can still run it on DC and not have the lights going on and off like a haunted house.
Yeah.
See, that's really, really clever. When are these due to land, buddy?
So these are due first quarter of next year.
What, January, February time then?
So yeah, around that sort of time. I think we're going to aim for February. I think.
Any options for us preservation modelers?
So yes. So we're doing the lovely teak samples there.
Look at that.
Nikki's lovely system.
We do like teaks. We like teaks. We do indeed. We've got crimson maroon as well.
That is so good. I mean, literally every single panel. You won't see a single panel that's the same or anything like that.
It is. I mean, you can't really see it on camera, as you folks know, but if you get a chance to come and see it at a show or whatever, please do. They are fantastic.
Come over by all means. We'll let you pick them up and handle all the models.
I'm going to take this home with me and just do things to it anyway. Put it back on there now. John, thanks very much.
No worries, bub.
You take care, man. All right.
You take care, mate.
Cheers, John. That was a great little review, and it was nice to see the quad arts looking so cool. So, not to keep a good man down, I kept mooching, and I came across Steve from Accurascale, who had this to say about his newest project.
Hey, good to see you.
Right, so I'm here with the lovely Stevie P from Accurascale.
Here I am.
And Steve, what's this behind us you brought with you, mate?
Yeah, this is the there and back light railway. So this is my little sideline in business. We run a portable miniature railway that goes to events and special occasions all over the country.
I was riding that earlier, so if you keep watching this video, you'll see that appear a bit later on. Fantastic.
Might let him loose.
Well, yeah. But Steve, we're not here to talk about the ride-on stuff. We're here to talk about your latest choice.
Yes.
You're the project, or one of the project managers for Accurascale.
I am, yes.
And your latest baby is the
austerity.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and the existing models on the market are okay, but I know they're not the best.
No.
And I know we can do better.
What is it you think you can bring to the market then?
I think we could just bring the whole Accurascale package. So the weight, the traction, the sound, the stay alive, and then the detail differences, you know. So you've got all the variations within the models to really do the austerity class justice, because every single one was different.
Yeah, and you've got that difference to the cab as well. Which
Yeah,
I know a lot
yeah.
of people were amazed to see that on your release video you did recently on the Accurascale channel. That was a good thing to see.
Yes.
But are there certain things that, from a engineering standpoint, as in making a model, that you wanted to include, but it just really wasn't practical to include them?
I mean, without going silly, you can't fit things like smoke in there, but virtually everything else that's commercially on the market, we've got detail between the frames, we've got...
Attention, please.
To be quite honest, with the austerity, it's all about packing a punch.
Yes.
And, you know, we've wanted to fit... The body's die cast, we've got as much weight in there as we can. Basically just to make sure that it performs like the real thing. You know, the real thing will pull a 1,000-ton train on the level, and this will do just that.
That's what you need, don't it, for a little more railway. Now, people are going to say it, it's the elephant in the room. There's already several good models of the austerity out there on the market. Now, I don't have one yet.
Yeah.
I don't have an austerity. What would you say to the people out there that are saying this is just more duplication, we don't need duplication, what are Accurascale doing?
You said the D word.
Yes.
So, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm pretty sure as far as my colleagues at Accurascale are concerned, it's not duplication if the model is better.
Oh, that's a big statement to make, Stephen.
It's only duplication if the model is identical in all respects.
Well, going off of that then, what Accurascale exclusives can we expect? Or are they? Have you got them close to your chest at the minute?
We've got Run 1 announced, Run 2, believe it or not, is already underway.
I can.
At the
yes.
deco stage.
Yeah.
And Run 3 is already in the planning. So
Good
there
stuff.
are going to be a lot of austerities coming.
So with all that said then, Steve, no
Yeah.
duplication, if it's going to be a better model, how much is it going to be?
So the retail price of a standard austerity is $149.95, and the one with DCC sound, and all the package in there. Every model's got a twin speaker fitted. It's all
Twin
got
speakers?
Twin speakers.
Right.
Twin speakers, firebox flicker, stay alive, standard feature. Full DCC sound is $249.95. So
We're about, I think that's where we about need to be these days.
I think it's tank engine money.
It is now, yeah. I mean,
Gapol
Gapol have got the Hawthorne Leslie for it. It's about the same sort of money. So that's where we're going to be now.
So what we want to do is, I mean, obviously the thing with the austerity, it wasn't just an industrial. They were bought by the LNER and classified as J94, so they ran for British Railways.
Yep.
They ran full-length freight trains on the network, so they are going to be not just hauling little trains on colliery branches, they're going to haul full freight trains on your main line. They're also going to be working passenger coaches on your heritage line.
Yes.
So the austerity really has to be an all-rounder model, and that's why we've gone all die-cast. We've gone all out with the weight, all out with the performance, and you'll see if you get some footage of one running, you'll see how it crawls along.
It's almost like as if you're going to model steam, you kind of need one. They do everything.
No, they are. I mean, there was
everything.
484 of them built.
Yeah.
I think I said 485 in the launch video, but there was actually 484.
And how kind of Accurascale to offer to send me one to review for free. Wasn't that lovely? With that, we'll call it down. Thank you very much, Steve. I've got to go. Bye bye. And with that, it was time to make my daring escape. Although one flaw of my plan is I had to bring the train back. Now, for those wondering, Steve runs the There and Back light railway company, and he can bring this thing to your event, of course. And it's 7 1/4 inch gauge for those guys wondering what it is. and I think I've unlocked a new interest in life now. A new way to spend all my money.
Oh, I need one.
And of course, not wanting to be outdone, my mate Jenny Kurt decided she wanted to have a go and get in on the 7¼ inch gauge action as well. So Steve showed her around the steam engine, which unfortunately we weren't allowed to play with because, funnily enough, the NEC didn't want us starting a massive fire in the hall. So we had to play with the diesel again instead.
How was that? That was pretty good.
So after we stopped picking around with the 7¼ inch stuff, we went to look at the beautiful narrow gauge offering that was there. This is Douglas, and this is the Talislin thing, or Talislin, or however you pronounce it. I'm not Welsh. But the good people from the trust were there, and they had a little bit to say about it for us.
Okay, well, this is our locomotive Douglas. She's our number 6, built in 1914.
No, 1980.
Okay, yep. No,
We've got a debate going on now.
1918, I forgot about that, sorry. She went to RAF Calshot in near Southampton, where she worked for the RAF. She hauled torpedoes, RAF Calshot to the Eaglehurst camp a mile away. In the late 50s, they decided to modernise and sent both Douglas and its sister locomotive away to a engineering firm in Birmingham called Ableson's. They kept the locomotives for a couple of years, wanted to export them to India. Unfortunately, the Indian Board of Trade wouldn't take them. So what happened was, well, our benefit. So what they did was they stored them on site, and recently a letter came in from the Talislin Railway at the time, asking if they had anything, money, expertise, volunteers who wanted to join them. Unfortunately, they said, I'm sorry, we haven't got any money, we haven't got any volunteers, but we've got an engine. So they gifted us the engine. Now the owner of Ableson's at the time had just left on a business trip, and just kind of just kind of soften him up a bit when he comes back and finds his engine is gone. They decided to name the locomotive after him, calling the locomotive Douglas after Douglas Ableson. And the locomotive arrived in 1954 after some work, such as the cab extension and the buffers, and has been there ever since. It's now in our possession for 70 years, and it's one of our best engines in my opinion.
That's a compliment.
However, it did win the Pride of the Fleet, so I will say that much.
Well, yes.
So it's also just come out of ticket back in January, and is now coming into its 10-year overhaul. So hopefully we can get it out soon.
She will steam again then?
She will steam again. She's going home. She's being loaded up tomorrow night and being back in town by tomorrow morning, where she will be moved into Pendray Works, and hopefully work will start soon.
Yeah, so it should be about 2 years?
2-3 years, maximum about 4.
So whilst she's been away at the Severn Valley, because they've been doing a bit of boiler work there, she's been on display in their museum. Quite interesting to see small blue engine next to a huge blue engine, which has been Gordon. So that's been nice to see. But yeah, no, it's been hugely popular this weekend. It's been really nice seeing people literally getting to grips with it. And we've let them have a go with all the controls as well. So.
I need to get inside there. Thank you very much.
There's not a lot of room in here, and I'm not a small person. I just can't imagine how difficult it would have been to fire this thing with a driver in here as well. It really is so small, but it's beautiful because it's a piece of history, and it's a piece of history you can reach out and touch. It's fantastic.
It's really quite nice to see narrow gauge engines out in the flesh. But after a bit more mooching around, I bumped into this individual.
You're wasting your time! Don't let anyone into these shows with a stand, honestly, they will. The tat on here is eBay's finest dross. Tom from Douglas Kelly Station, how you doing, man? Good to see you again, buddy.
My biggest customer.
Yeah, so, literally.
Yeah.
Takes up the most space in the room at any one given time. Last time I saw you, young man, we were at the North Yorkshire Moors Railway together, weren't we?
We were, yeah. What was that about?
I think we were doing something very secret and special, which you can see various trailers of now, by the way, boys and girls.
Look on YouTube, you'll see the true version and the propaganda.
Yeah, and the that's what happens when you f*** around and find out.
That's literally your fault. You're wasting your time.
Oh dear, oh dear.
So after leaving Tom to repair his windmill, which he destroyed with his flamboyant arm swinging, I went over to Rapido to make myself a pest and find out what was going on over there. Turns out they were up to quite a lot. They were doing a design your own wagon commission thing. 50 quid and you got your own wagon customised with text, destination, running number, and you could even choose which colour you wanted it in from like a range of, I think it was 4 or 5 different colours. I don't know if they do this thing online, but I certainly know they do it at shows. They were also busy designing a new wagon for their main range as well. Obviously you don't want to feed the designers or anything. So I decided to speak to Andy and see just what was actually going on over at Rapido Trains UK. So Andy, how's the show been for Rapido this year then? First new show as well.
Yeah, so the first National Festival of Modelling, it's been brilliant. So we've had plenty of time to show off our stuff. So we've had our test track running with all our samples, all the new stuff. So Evolution's here, the 3D print for Ivor, S160s, all the fun stuff. And then on top of that, we've had our custom wagon printing. It's been really cool, people having different things. And then if that's not enough, our CAD designers have in less than 2 days designed a whole new wagon.
I've not seen it yet, I'll go and look at that.
We put up a sign that says, well, wagon in a weekend, completed it, mate.
Yeah.
And it's been really good fun along the way. So it's been brilliant for us, and we hope it's been brilliant for the punters as well.
Yeah, I mean, one of my subscribers sent me a message on Facebook asking me to buy him a custom-made wagon for his nephew for Christmas, so I says, okay, I will do. And it was really interesting watching the design process. And I said, is this how you design your normal wagons? He says, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very similar. So yeah, design layers and text and things. What we've done for the custom wagon service is done everything with templates, just to make it a bit quicker to get through things.
Yeah.
If we were doing a real wagon, we'll be looking at photos and doing everything very, very sort of particular for stuff. But no, it was a really good way of doing it, and the engagement. You know, limited edition ones of ones is, how good is that? There's not another one in the world like it.
No, exactly,
and that's got legs, that's got something. People like that exclusivity.
Now, speaking of there being not another thing like it, what's all this with Hornby? Are Rapido and Hornby joining forces? Is that what's going on?
No, but yes. So, fundamentally, a year ago, almost to the day, we announced the J52-2 and the R060. We announced it the week before Worley at the show, and we got pulled aside by one of the guys from Hornby and said, we've got a bit of a problem, could you talk to us? So Martin Weaver, who runs the Hornby bits, came and said, we've got a problem. Turns out they're also working on one. Neither of us had talked to each other previously, neither of us were aware of it. There was no stamping feet, getting upset, trying to bite on each other. It was just one of those things that happened. It would have been very easy for one of us to try and dominate the other. It's not worth doing that. It doesn't benefit anyone in the long term.
At least of all the modeler.
At least of all the modeler. It doesn't benefit the modeler, it doesn't benefit the manufacturer. And you know, at the end of the day, it harms sales. Sales mean you can't reinvest money, so there's less new tooling. So we kind of went to Margate. Myself and Corwin from Rapido went over to Margate and had a meeting with their guys, had a little snoop around at some of their bits and pieces, and kind of went, right, how can we not make a direct duplication? So rather than say doing the preserved loco, both of us doing exactly the same model, we went, hang on, in run one we'd already advertised ours, they looked at what running numbers they could offer and which tooling variants we hadn't at the time announced, which we have now gone, we're not going to do those, they could add. So to give you an idea, the ventilators on the cab roof, you get what we call the safari roof. Hornby have offered that, we don't. We're doing the stovepipe chimney, they're doing the short version chimney along with the standard ones. We've shared some colour data, so all being well, they will be the same colour. If you buy two chip Great Northern ones, they'll be the same colour, and that's based on our Sterling single colour. So from the modeller's perspective, you could buy two logos from two different manufacturers that look the same on the layout, have subtle differences in it, it's a win for everyone. So the argument is, buy both. We're working together to try and benefit everyone. We can't talk about things like price, because that's when you get into cartels, but you can legally talk about some things, and things like the detail variances, we've been able to do that. It benefits the modeller, it benefits each other's company, the only bad marketing is, no marketing is bad marketing. And actually something's come out of it as well by myself and Martin Weaver holding each other's models and having a little look.
It was really funny.
But I go on about mental health in the hobby a lot, and there's an awful lot of people who just want to jump on the bandwagon of give someone a knock, and that even happened on Saturday. People went, Hornby jumping on people. And we actually took to social media yesterday going, no, not at all. No, read the post we've put out, because the honest truth is, This isn't deliberate, it's a complete accident. We're trying to make the best of both situations,
Sure.
And going forward we'll try and avoid it happening any further.
I think it's a very sensible and mature way of dealing with it.
Absolutely,
It really
and it's not unique, and it's not the first time either. It has happened
it
an
won't be
awful
the
lot, and
last
most
either.
people never hear about it. But this one was a genuine accident. Let's just get on and deal with it, and make the hobby better for everyone. People forget that all of these companies in this hall, at the heart of them, have got modelers in the business somewhere, either at the top or in the management or on the shop floor, whatever it is. You know, I'm a modeler, all of my team here are modelers, there's people at Hornby who are modelers, there's people at Accurascale, Bachman, Dapol, all the way down to the little people like Model U behind us. They're all modelers. They want to see things blossom. They're not in the game of trying to rob the modeler off for as much money as possible and see the hobby collapse. Because
No, what's the point in that? That's
you'll be out of a job.
that's end game, isn't it?
Yeah, you're out of a job.
It's
So
end game.
you know, trying to persuade people that there's actually a lot of good going on behind the scenes to make the hobby better.
It's good to say. I think sometimes as well, it's very difficult for the modeler to not see that side of it, and you end up with like an echo chamber of negativity.
Absolutely, and we see that with everything from business decisions, what we make, price, down to NEM coupling pockets. You know, literally, you know, why has that happened? And people don't see the reasoning and the logic behind it, and just see the end result. And sometimes jump on the I've made up a reason, or I've been told a reason, that must be true.
Sure.
We at Rapido don't mind people emailing in. If someone doesn't like something, email us. We'll tell you the reasons why and the logic behind it. And I'm finding that's really important, that actually there's an awful lot behind it. You know, pricing. Prices are going up around the world, bread's going up, milk, everything's changing, political landscape's changing, wars, all have an effect. We're not using those as excuses to rip people off, it's just prices do change. And different companies have different business models. You know, we are different to everyone else out there. Some companies have got bigger overheads. The result is they can't just absorb prices and things. It kind of is what it is. And I think part of it is education, part of it is being open and honest. And I think there are a lot more companies now being open and honest.
Transparency.
And that's where yesterday, us and Hornby putting out a joint thing that said, here's what's gone on, here's the truth behind it, trying to be a bit open about it, should start to break down those habits and barriers of why things are a problem. And you know, it can only be good for the hobby, and in the long term it will get better. Part of it's on us to do that, part of it as well is on social media and forums and modelers at shows, listening and understanding that we're not trying to lie to them. Actually, this is the truth, and kind of going, okay, well, let's see what happens next time. You know, if there is duplication next year, that's not so good and something's gone wrong. But I am 99.9% there won't be.
Well, listen, I think you've done everything within your power, Andy, to make this right. So thanks very much, buddy. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, man. Great to have a chat with Andy there from Rapido Trains, and also regarding the NEM pockets, on their version of the floor mat wagon, it doesn't come with them, but I spoke to Dan and he showed me a really clever way of how to add them. Essentially, you take an NEM pocket with a dovetail, you cut it in half, then you take your desired coupling that you want to use with it, magnetic or in my case a KD, cut the legs off of it, slide it in and glue it. Here presto, simple as that. Now, one other thing which happened this weekend at the festival was Lyndon Davies, or Taff, from Oxford Diecast, Oxford Rail, who luckily enough was able to rebuy the brand from Hornby this year. That isn't the focus of this particular video though, no. We're going to focus on the lovely award ceremony he was presented with for contributions to the hobby. I think you'll all agree, Oxford Diecast are synonymous with model railways, especially little metal vehicles. So let's take a look at that now, shall we?
Please, it's a very important announcement. If you'd like to, this gentleman here on the left.
I'd like to introduce you to a roller.
I've just done that.
British Toy and Hobby Association.
Good afternoon, everyone. I wasn't expecting such a big audience, but then again, you haven't come to see me. You've come to see our friend and the founder of Oxford Diecast, Lyndon Davies. Lyndon, I'm ably assisted today by Zion, who's going to help me with the award presentation, because it is an award presentation. I'll try and be brief. I can't promise, because I'm a South London boy and I do tend to jabber on, so just bear with me a little bit on that. Today's a very special award. I run a thing called the British Toy and Hobby Association, which is the trade federation for toys and hobby makers in this country. and we would like to make a presentation to Lyndon of a British Toy and Hobby Association Special Recognition Award. So what is a Special Recognition Award? Well, it's our award for recognising outstanding individuals for their long-standing service, loyalty and dedication to the model, hobby and toy sector. Lyndon is not only a passionate person about models and hobbies and toys, he's also a highly skilled person. He's also a very unassuming person, and limelight is not something I know you seek, Lyndon, but I'm afraid you've got some limelight for a brief period today. And this is about long service, it's about dedication. We have a small award which my colleague in Zion has got to present, which is a specially made award, and Lyndon is only the second recipient of this award. And it's my pleasure to present that with Zion to Lyndon, with our thanks and with our heartfelt gratitude.
Thank you.
Now you thought you'd get away with no more speeches, but I know Eloise wants to say a few words.
I just want to say thank you so much for the support that we've been given as a business and a family. This award means so much to us. As you can see, it means the world to my dad. So thank you so much. One more big cheer for my dad. Okay, you've got it? Okay, you want to hold it up in the air? Thank you so much. Thank you, Roland.
Well, how good was that? And that was only a small amount of what I managed to catch on my visit to the festival. Now, that was technically a new show. Yes, I know it was at the old show's old venue at the same time frame, even the same hall, but it was still technically a new show organised by Warner's. And I have to say, I really did enjoy it. And I think the general consensus was everyone else did as well. Traders, exhibitioners alike, they all seemed to have the same sort of generally positive opinion. There was maybe one or two criticisms that perhaps that next time the show comes around that they might want to consider just expanding slightly. A lot of the hall was left sort of open and almost derelict really. There wasn't really a room for it, and even the excess seating wasn't great. So that would probably be something I would echo as well. Just next year maybe a little bit more thought about where the stands get put, about where the layouts get put, trade stands and manufacturer stands as well. The breakdown was, I would think, more to do with the NEC and how they do things. It wasn't fantastic, to be honest with you. As anyone that was there will tell you, it was a hot mess in terms of having to just wait for your number to be called, to bring your van in. And because we only had a trailer, it should have been fairly simple for us to get out, but we had to wait over an hour just to get out until someone with a bit of sense said, you can just push your trailer round if you want and I will walk with you. And we eventually got away, but some folks were there for quite a while, unfortunately. Only a few minor criticisms, that's what there'd be. Now, apart from that, the rest of the show, fantastic. And it was great to speak to everyone that I did. Steve from Accurascale, Andy from Rapido Trains, John James C from Alice Clark Trains, and of course everyone else who I spoke to. Didn't manage to get an interview with everyone. And how lovely was it to see Lyndon Davis receiving that award. Truly heartwarming thing to witness. And Simon Kohler there, just gathering everyone's attention. Everyone listens to the granddad of the hobby, don't they, old Simon Kohler there, who is very much well and alive and still part of the hobby. Okay, he might have left Hornby a while ago now, but that man is passionate and he does enjoy what he does, and he does firmly believe in this hobby that we all hold dear to our hearts. So it was good to actually see Simon there taking an interest and just getting involved at the, I suppose, the grassroots level, Would you call it that? Maybe that's not the right phrase, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. All I can think about is how good it's going to be again next year. Would have been nice to see Dapol and Bachmann there, but I believe they had other commitments already. There was no political reasons for them not being there. It was all down to scheduling and budget. That was it. So I fully suspect Dapol and Bachmann to be in attendance next year, and to all the manufacturers that are there to have their bigger, fuller stands as well. Again, new show, a little bit tentative, so everyone was just sort of dipping their toe a little bit, I think. They even managed to get a few toys as well. It is what it is. I got a Class 40 and a couple of other locomotives and some bits and pieces from Westhill Wagon Works and WW Scenics, which will be featuring in future videos when I'm doing scenic work and upgrades and what have you. So, did you folks attend the show, and what did you think? Was it worth the travel time for you? What would you have liked to have seen? What would you have liked to have seen at the show this year? You know what to do. Leave it in the comments down below, guys. And I'll speak to you all very soon and see you again shortly. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.